Hi guys, this is Sharon and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you another project I've made that is great as souvenirs, and I'm sure all you guys out there will like the cuteness of this mini bag. So stay tuned and watch until the end of this video. So for this project I'll be using this Indifill 4-ply yarn, and I'm going to start with a magic ring and then work chain 1 to bring up the yarn, and then 8 single crochets into the magic ring. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then to close the round, we're going to work chain 1, 2 single crochet into the same stitch, and into every stitch around. Once you have 16 single crochets, you're going to work a slip stitch on the first single crochet made, and then for round 3, chain 1, 1 single crochet into the same stitch, 2 single crochet into every second stitch around. So you're going to repeat that until you get back around. Okay, now to end the round, you're going to work a slip stitch on top of the first single crochet. For round 4, chain 1, 1 single crochet into the same stitch, and this time we're gonna work 1 single crochet into the next, and then into every third stitch. That is where you're gonna work an increase, or 2 single crochets into every third stitch around. After round 4, we're going to stop increasing, and to end the round, we're just going to work a slip stitch on top of the very first single crochet. This will be the bottom of the mini bag that we're making, and from here on we're just going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch. And to start, you're going to chain 1, 1 single crochet into the same stitch, 1 single crochet into the next. But since we're changing colors, we're going to finish off with a new color. So I think I have shown you how to work the tapestry crochet into my previous tutorials when I made the purse. And then into each of the next 2 stitches, we're gonna work 1 single crochet in pink into each. And just before we finish off the next pink, we're gonna switch back to the main color, which is the magenta color, and then work 1 single crochet into each. And then every time we move or join the next color, we switch back to the other color of yarn. So we're going to repeat this around. And then I'll show you. Okay, as you can see, this is wrong. It should be the other color when switching back to this color. Now, when you get back, I'll show you how to work the next round. Alright, so as you can see, I am working my last 2 single crochets in light pink or baby pink color. So now to end this round, I'm going to slip stitch to the other color again using the magenta yarn into the first single crochet made, because this is the last stitch of this round and this is the first stitch. So I'm going to work a slip stitch in there. So do not forget to bury this color here. So we have ended the round. Now we're going to chain one single crochet into the same stitch, one single crochet into the next. But before we finish off with the last single crochet using the magenta yarn, we're going to join back the pink, and then into each of the next two we're gonna work 2 single crochets, one in each, and then switch back again to the darker color. So we're just going to repeat this color pattern around, and then into the next round we're gonna do the opposite color pattern, and then I'll show you how to do it. Okay, now I finally got back around, and I'm not gonna switch off yet to the darker color. I'm going to finish off the last stitch, and then this is going to be the first stitch of the round. This is where I'm going to work a slip stitch, but since I'm going to change the color pattern here, I'm going to slip stitch as normal, and then chain one single crochet into the same stitch, one single crochet into the next. But before we finish off, we're going to switch back to the darker color of yarn, and then work one single crochet into each of the next two. And just before we finish doing the last stitch, we're switching back to the lighter color of yarn, and we're gonna repeat this until we have 2 rounds of the same color pattern. And I'm gonna show you into the next clip of how it will look like. So this is going to look like a checker design. As you can see, we repeated the round twice, and then into the next round, because we're going to switch to this color on top of these stitches. So we're going to work the last single crochet in the same color, and then into the first single crochet made, we're going to work a slip stitch, and then we're going to start working chain one single crochet into the same stitch, one single crochet into the next. But just before we do that, we're switching back to the light color of yarn. So that is what we'll be working on until we get the height of this mini bag. And then in the next clip, I'll show you how many rounds I have made. Alright, I did about 12 rounds of this pattern, and for the last 2 rounds, I'm switching back to the main color, which is this. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to cut off the lighter yarn, because we don't need that anymore. And then I'm going to start the round by chaining one single crochet into the first, into the same stitch, one single crochet into the next, and into every stitch until I get back around. And I'm gonna do that 2 more times. So meaning I'm gonna work the same number of colors, 1 single crochet into every stitch for 2 rounds. So I started this 1 round of 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I'm gonna do 1 more round for a total of 2 rounds. I'm gonna show you after I finish those 2 rounds. So the next step that we're gonna do is, after weaving in the ends of this mini bag that we're making, we're gonna do the flap for this mini bag. To start, I'm gonna work a magic ring, and then I'm gonna start chaining 1 first to bring up the yarn, and then 6 single crochets into the magic ring. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to pull the yarn tail and then work a slip stitch into the very first single crochet made. Round 2, we're going to chain 1, okay, so 1 single crochet into the same stitch, 2 more single crochets into the same stitch. Into the next stitch, we're gonna work 1, and then we're going to repeat 3 single crochets in 1 stitch and 1 single crochet into the next 2 more times. So into the next, we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 1 into the next, 3 into the next. 1 into the last stitch, and then slip stitch on top of the very first single crochet. Now for round 2, we're going to chain 1 single crochet into the same stitch as chain 1 single crochet into the next, and then in here, into every middle of those 3 single crochets, we're gonna work 3. 2, 3, 1 single crochet into each of the next 3. 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets into the next stitch, 1 single crochet into each of the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, 3 single crochets into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 1 single crochet into each of the next 2. Before we slip stitch, we're going to join this yarn and slip stitch into the next color of yarn, And then you can now cut off the light yarn because we don't need that anymore. So I'm going to cut this one off and tie both tails at the back. After tying both tails at the back, you can now start your last round by chaining one single crochet into the same stitch, and you can vary the tails as you go. And then one single crochet into the next. So there are 3 increases that we have made. So into every middle of those 3 single crochets, that is where we work the 3 single crochets. So this is the second of the 3 single crochets. This is the spot where we work 3 single crochets all into the same stitch. And then after that, work 1 single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. So once you get to the middle of those 3 single crochets, that is when you're gonna work 3 single crochets. So you're gonna keep doing that until you get back around, and do not forget to add 3 single crochets into the middle of this 3 single crochet group here. Okay, so I added my last 3 single crochets into the corner, and then 1 single crochet into each of the remaining 3 single crochets, and now I'm going to work a slip stitch on top of the very first single crochet made. Right, so we're ready to add the flap to the bag, mini bag, and to do that, work a single crochet around. So in my case, I think I'm going to work a single crochet, make sure it's in the middle, so you can just pretty much eyeball it. You can count the stitches across here, starting from the middle of this 3 group of single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can get the middle of this side, counting from 1 to 10, and then we're gonna work a slip stitch in there. Alright, so this is the front side of the flap. This is the back side. This is where you will see the join of my mini bag, and this is actually the spot where I will start attaching the flap by maybe chaining 1 and then catching the yarn here, and then catch the yarn on the other side and work a single crochet. You can do slip stitches if you want to, but I prefer single crochets. And then into the next stitch of both edges, I'm gonna work my second single crochet, and then into the next I'm gonna work my third until I get to the corner. Once I get to the middle of the 3 single crochets in there, which will be the corner, that's a time that I will just work slip stitches to get to this side. So into the next stitch, which is this way, which is this stitch, I'm just going to work slip stitches on the edge until I get to the middle of the 3 single crochets in there, which is this one. So after working slip stitches, then I'm gonna make a loop for the button. So make sure to get the size of the button that you have, or it will fit into the loop that you're gonna make. In my case, I'm gonna work maybe 10, 2, 3, 9, 10. Then into the same stitch as the where you started the loop, you're gonna work slip stitches into the same stitch, and then repeat working slip stitches until you get to the other side of this triangular flap. Once you reach the middle here, the second single crochet, that is when we're going to start attaching half of this flap into here. So make sure that you have both the number of stitches across in order to attach this one. So once I get here, slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1 and catch the loop here and work my single crochet. Until I get to the middle. Okay, so now I just got back around and I'm going to work a slip stitch to finish the round. So this is what it looks like after weaving in the ends, and the next step is we're gonna work the strap for this one, the back straps. So this could be optional, and also we're gonna add a drawstring right here. Alright, so for the strap, we're gonna make a chainless foundation chain, and we're gonna do single crochets. So first, after making a slip knot, chain 2, and then insert your hook into the first single crochet made, catching the back loop and the bottom loop or the back chain. So make sure you're catching both loops, and then yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So we made 2 single crochets already. Now we're gonna go to the last single crochet, and we're going to insert the hook through the bottom of the last single crochet made, and yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop only, yarn over and pull through 2, and then we're just going to repeat that until we get the length of the strap that we need for this mini backpack. So in here I made about 14 single crochets, and then after you get the length you want, you can just chain one and cut off the yarn. Alright, so I made 2 straps, and I'm gonna attach it at the back of this mini backpack, and I'm going to sew it right on here. So now the straps are already attached to the bag, and now if you want to turn this one into a drawstring, it's very easy. So I'm gonna use this light color yarn, and then work a slip knot, and then chain as many as you want until you get the length. I chained about 60, and then I'm going to fasten this off. I'm just going to use the yarn needle to go through and hold it as even like this. So I'm gonna poke through the holes, work until I get to this, and then I'm going to go through right here, passing through those 2 holes until I get to the other side. So this is what it looks like. You can definitely tie a ribbon if you want to, but because we're adding a button, you can put the button here, and then you can lock it instead. And that is how you can make this cute mini backpack, which is also great if you have a lot of Barbie dolls and you want to make one. It will fit right into your Barbie doll, and also it is great as giveaways and souvenirs. Hope you like this video. Do not forget to hit like, comment if you have any requests, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.